2016 is often said to be the last great year in music, or hip-hop specifically, but when I hear that argument, I immediately think of 2018 being a huge contender and potentially a better year for hip-hop. However, that's not what this title of the video is, because that's a topic for another video. Although, I will say, 2018 was the last great year in hip-hop to this point. If you look back at that year, we got so many great albums that tons of people still bump to this day. Examples would be Astroworld, Die Lit, and although I'm not a fan of her, Cardi B's Invasion of Privacy. People can make an argument that 2020 was a better year than 2018, and to that I say, I do think it's close, but I feel as though as far as impact, 2018 has left way more of an impact than 2020. However, 2020 did bring us many great and highly anticipated albums like Eternal Atake, Savage Mode 2, Heaven or Hell, and Whole Lotta Red. But after those handful of albums, I don't think it holds up to 2018. For example, other albums that released in 2018 that weren't nearly as huge like the ones I mentioned earlier, like DiCaprio 2, Taboo, The Carter 5, Drip Harder, and Metro Boomin's Not All Heroes Wear Capes. Also, the amount of different styles of hip-hop that we got in 2018 was something special. We had the more lyrical rappers drop albums like J. Cole with KOD, and like I just said, DiCaprio 2 from JID. We also got the hit album from Lil Baby, Harder Than Ever. 2018 also brought us a lot of new faces to hip-hop, with Goodbye and Good Riddance by Juice WRLD, as well as XXXTentacion, who wasn't super new, but still coming up in the industry. He released his album, Question Mark, which had massive hits like Moonlight and Sad. Are you starting to see why I think 2018 was the last great year in hip-hop? If you were a hip-hop fan, you got new music from someone you like or a type of sound you like that year. If you liked more trap music, you got Astroworld, I Am Greater Than I Was, and Not All Heroes Wear Capes. If you were more of a fan of the SoundCloud era of music, you got Goodbye and Good Riddance, Question Mark, Life's a Trip, and Die Lit. And I would like to add that all these albums I've mentioned, I have gone back to at least a couple times in 2023, which even more adds to my point of why 2018 was just a phenomenal year for hip-hop. And I can keep going. I haven't even mentioned Kanye West's run of his albums where he released a new album every week for 4 weeks. When he began this streak, the first album was Pusha T's highly rated Daytona. Then Kanye dropped Ye and Kid See Ghost with Kid Cudi. Ye was a good album, but I will admit that 2016's Life of Pablo was better, so he got Kanye there. And Kid See Ghost is still an album I love so much and go back to so frequently. With Kid See Ghost, Kanye and Kid Cudi were really in their bag, and I know these albums were only 7 to 10 or 12 songs, I can't quite remember, but the way Kanye collaborated with Cudi and Pusha T and Nas, it was something truly special, and I don't know if we'll ever see something like it again, although we could. I don't know if it'll be with different types of rappers in the future, like with Cardi and Uzi and maybe Travis or something, but I don't know, I'm getting ahead of myself. I just think that what Kanye did that month in 2018, like summer, that was crazy. Something to truly look back at and think, wow, what a time to be alive, for real. And as I mentioned a little bit ago, Kanye dropped Nasir with Nas, which was cool, but for more of the older hip-hop fans in my opinion. The fact that we got 4 Kanye releases practically back to back to back was insane. Other huge albums to release in 2018 were Beer Bongs and Bentleys from Post Malone, which was huge and paved the way for where Post Malone is now. I almost forgot about Scorpion by Drake. This album was everywhere in 2018. Had hits like God's Plan, I'm Upset, Nice for What, and the massive single, In My Feelings. I think I've gotten my point across as to why I say 2018 was the best year in hip-hop to this point. And I just don't see any of the years after 2018 really even coming close to 2018 other than, of course, maybe 2020. But as I mentioned earlier, 2020 just didn't feel as impactful as 2018 was. There was just so much great music that dropped in 2018 that it's going to be really hard that we see another year quite like it. I just want to quickly touch on 2022. I know people are going to say 2022 was amazing for hip-hop and can make a real argument. And that's fair, but I do think it's a little soon to say at this point because the albums are only 1 year old and I'd like to see how they hold up in a couple years. But I will say, 2022 could be a real contender in the future to be a year we look back at and go, man, we really got fed that year. Which we really did. We got albums from Future, Kendrick, Jid, Drake, and Metro Boomin. But the main reason I'm not calling 2022 is it just hasn't been quite enough time yet, and I'd like to see how the albums hold up over a few years. Overall, 2018 was a truly amazing year and experience if you were a hip-hop fan. You were left satisfied with almost all of the albums that were dropped in 2018. Hip-hop was changed for the better in 2018 with every great album that was released. Let me know what your favorite album from 2018 was, and let me know how you feel about this take and 2018 as a whole. Thanks for watching.